Today I'm talking about a novel that changed literature forever. You know, novels are a powerful art form. They can really change your life if you read the right one. I'm talking about a novel I just read called The Lonely Londoners. It's written by a Caribbean author called Selvon. Tell me though, what's the last book you read? Was it Colleen Hoover? Be honest, because you have to tell me if it's Colleen Hoover. Or was it Diary of a Wimpy Kid? Because that series is sick and I will not be taking any criticism for it. So, why is The Lonely Londoner so transformative? Let me give you some background. To understand why it's such a transformative novel, some context would be nice, right? The setting is based in London after the Second World War. The background of the novel is actually based on reality. Basically, after World War II, Britain was kind of feeling empty, because of the horrors of war and the unimaginable casualties it brings. So the British said, let's let people from the Caribbean come here. For us, they can fix the labor shortage, and for them, they can perhaps find a better quality of life, or so they thought. When people did migrate to Britain, the West Indians and the Jamaicans and all the others, expecting a glitter city that heard so much about, with the roads paved with gold, they actually got racism, little job prospects, bleak, bone-chilling weather, and a lack of affordable housing. Fun. The funniest thing about the story is that there is no story. The novel reads more like a fragmented series of character studies. Things just happen without an underlying narrative. It reads like a modernist text. Reminds me a bit of Virginia Woolf's Waves, with the plot being even more subtle. But don't let that captivate you any less. We follow the story of our main character. Well, sort of main character, Moses Aloeda. Cool name, I know. He serves as our first lens through which we see London. He's a little pessimistic and cautious, but ultimately soft at heart because he never turns down helping one of his friends, or the boys as he calls them, no matter how bad things get. The book is about him and the journey of his boys struggling through the harsh reality of the shattered illusion of British hospitality. Each character in the book feels very real. Not a two-dimensional character, just thrown in for the sake of progressing the story. It makes you feel more immersed in the London Selvon is trying to show. The beauty of the book is how you get to see the same London differently through the eyes of each character. Sometimes it's optimistic and sometimes it's soul-crushing, but that's just life. Now onto my favorite part about the book and why it changed literature. If you buy the novel and read off a random page, you'll be like, bruh, what is this? This is because the book is written in authentic dialect from Selvon. This is known as creolized English. You'll find a lot of slang in this book, and you'll see not only the dialogues in this particular type of English, but even the descriptions. This narrative style made the book feel so special for me, and immersive that it felt different from most novels that I'd read. The interactions between the characters felt so witty that even in the dark, melancholic parts of the book, you could see Selvon finding humor. Interesting fact, Selvon actually tried to write the book in standard English, but he just did not feel that it evoked the same feeling. The book came to life when he used creolized dialect. What can you say? Slang just hits different. The book is essentially about finding your place in the world. It deals with ideas of loneliness, acceptance, discrimination, migration, and identity. The novel deals with ideas of fetishization of black men just being desired for their stereotype in media, how white women wanted them rough and primitive, not educated or capable of intellectual conversation. They just solely existed for a good time at night, rather than someone you'd introduce to your family or build a deeper bond with. It has a meta moment where one of the characters has a self-awareness about his treatment. He blames the way people treat him on the blackness of his skin. He talks about it in third person like some separate entity. The passage goes, and he watched the color of his hand and talked to it, saying, "Color, is you that causing all this, Why the hell you can't be blue, or red, or green if you can't be white? It's you. That caused a lot of misery in the world. It's not me. It's you. I didn't do anything to infuriate the people, and them. It's you. Look at you. You so black and innocent. And this time you causing misery all over the world." I found that part heartbreaking. The book did have a glaring criticism for me. I know Selvon writes satire and irony really well, but I found a hard time differentiating satire from reality on his portrayal of women. The book has scenes on domestic violence and women being referred to as pieces of skin or a sharp thing. Migration from the Caribbean was initially primarily a male phenomenon. It is male experience with which the novel is concerned. The demeaning and derogatory terms used by the characters dehumanize the women with whom the men come into contact. The characters mostly see women for their own ends and gratification. There is an instance in the novel of a man demonstrating genuine emotional attachment to a woman, but this obsession evokes pity from the narrator that the readers presumably expect her to share. I don't know if it's ironic or not, so I'll just leave it at that. The Lonely Londoners left a mark on literature, particularly in its representation of immigrant experiences and the complexities of cultural identity. It shaped the discourse on diaspora literature and multiculturalism in profound ways. In essence, The Lonely Londoners is not just a novel, it is a literary journey. Cringe. Because we should all read more. Yeah. Touching grass is good for everyone, and reading is kinda based. Anyway, the ending was powerful for me. It had a sublime feeling to it. A quote at the end goes, "Under the kif laughter, behind the ballad and the episode, the what happening, the sum of his hearts, he could see a great aimlessness, a great restless swaying movement, that leaving you standing in the same spot, as if a forlorn shadow of doom fall on all the spades in the country." You should read The Lonely Londoners because it makes you feel a certain way. There's a bittersweet melancholy in the book that's paired so beautifully with humor, and it speaks personally to the essence of the human condition. We all have our struggles in life, and we're all dealt a different deck of cards. A lot of times our circumstances are unfair, but it's through finding meaning and joy in the little things that we keep moving forward, finding a reason in each other and ultimately ourselves to persevere, survive, and outlast our struggles against every single odd. Perhaps that is what it means to be human, or a West Indian in the 1950s Britain.